Some secrets shield you, while others can lead to your downfall. Not because you intended harm, not because you were reckless, but because you confided in the wrong person at the wrong moment. The reality is, the most perilous information isn't what's hidden from you. It's what you disclose without grasping the consequences. History shows lives ruined by a single careless word, a fleeting overshare, a false sense of security. In today's world, where eyes are always watching, online, offline, constantly, those small details you let slip can silently paint a target on your back. We're more vulnerable than ever, yet most don't even realize the danger. This video uncovers the 5 secrets you must never reveal if you value your safety, your freedom, or your life. These aren't obvious pitfalls. They're the subtle ones that slip past your defenses until it's too late. So don't look away. Don't fast forward. Every second could be the one that keeps you safe. And if you're serious about protecting yourself and those you care about, hit subscribe. Stay vigilant. Stay secure. Let's dive in. First, never reveal personal financial details. Recall the last time you saw someone share a photo of their new house keys standing proudly in front of their freshly painted door, beaming with a caption like, "Finally a homeowner." It feels innocent, right? We're conditioned to celebrate milestones, to broadcast life's highs, and social media fuels this with likes, comments, and celebratory emojis. But here's the unspoken truth. That post revealed far more than intended. It announced your address, hinted at your financial status, and signaled you've acquired something valuable. You didn't just share a moment. You handed out a guide to your vulnerabilities. A friend, Rachel, bought her first home a few years back. Single, in her early 30s, she worked hard for it and was rightfully proud. She posted photos, keys in hand, a welcome mat, a front porch shot with the street number faintly visible. Nothing flashy, just joy. Within 2 months, she faced 2 break-in attempts, one while away on a weekend trip, another during work hours. Her neighborhood wasn't high crime, and she wasn't ostentatious, but she'd unknowingly flagged herself as someone with assets to lose, and perhaps not enough safeguards to protect them. Financial information isn't just what you say, it's what you imply. A post about your new car, a casual mention of your salary or recent bonus, even noting you're debt-free. These are breadcrumbs that guide the wrong person right to you. We think we're sharing moments, but often we're advertising opportunities, not to friends, but to opportunists. Here's an unsettling truth. People are always observing. Not everyone, not constantly, but enough to matter. It's not just online scammers or hackers. It's the coworker you barely know, the friend of a friend at a party, the stranger who noticed your new watch or designer shoes and started piecing things together. We picture danger as a shadowy figure in a dark alley, but often it's someone smiling at you while quietly assessing your worth. Criminals rarely target the ultra-wealthy. Billionaires have security systems, cameras, legal teams, and are too much trouble. But you're approachable. You have just enough to make the risk worthwhile. You post vacation photos while still away, share tales of a big raise, or flaunt new tech, home upgrades, or luxury buys, not realizing each boast is a breadcrumb. So, the psychological trap is clear. We assume the world celebrates our wins, and many do, but not all. In the shadows of those cheers are people who don't admire your success. They feel entitled to it, and they don't care how they claim it. This is where Stoicism offers wisdom. quiet strength, inner calm, and discretion. The Stoics didn't flaunt their victories, not out of shame, but because they knew pride doesn't need an audience. They believed peace stems from self-control over desires, actions, and words. Adopting Stoic principles curbs the urge to overshare. You start questioning, why do I want to post this? Is it for connection or validation? Expression or ego? Clarity emerges. You begin to cherish your privacy like a soldier values armor, not to hide, but to stay safe. So, what's the answer? It's straightforward but challenging. Be deliberate about what you share and why. You don't need to lie or live in fear, but you must be wise. If someone asks about your income, deflect smoothly. I'm doing all right, enough to get by. And shift topics. Celebrate big wins privately with trusted allies. When you make a major purchase, delay sharing if you share at all. You don't owe the world a rundown of your success. The less others know about your finances, the safer you are, not just from thieves, but from envy, manipulation, or legal woes. Treat your financial status like your bank PIN. Share it with no one, unless essential, and even then, question why. Oversharing feels harmless in the moment, but once it's out, you lose control over who uses it or how. Privacy is strength. Silence is security. Discretion is your shield. Wield it. Second, keep your location and travel plans private. Have you ever felt that sudden chill when you realize someone knows your whereabouts when they shouldn't? It's a visceral grip on your spine that lingers. In this era of oversharing, most don't even notice the risks they've welcomed. We post airport selfies, check in at cafes, tag locations in real time, thinking we're just capturing moments. But in truth, we're surrendering our most precious asset, our whereabouts. In the wrong hands, that knowledge turns into a weapon. A few years ago, I knew a woman named Maya, newly engaged and brimming with life. She loved sharing her world on Instagram. One weekend, her fiancé planned a surprise getaway to Lake Tahoe. She posted as they hit the road, then shared cabin views and scenic shots. On day 2, she uploaded a snowshoeing photo laughing, captioned, "No signal, no worries." But there was a worry. A man from her past, someone she distanced herself from after an uneasy encounter, was silently tracking her posts. He saw her trip on Fold Live. He knew where she was, and, crucially, where she wasn't, her Sacramento apartment. While Maya was wrapped in snow and happiness, her home was burgled. The intruder didn't just steal. He rummaged through her closet, her drawers, leaving no sign of forced entry. It wasn't about what he took. It was about the control, access, and intimacy he sought, without her consent. That's what makes it so chilling. Most miss this. Not all threats are financial. Some stem from obsession, control, or revenge. By oversharing your location, you're handing out a roadmap to every one of those motives. This isn't fear-mongering. It's recognizing patterns. We've normalized broadcasting our movements, assuming only friends are watching. But anyone could be. Social media doesn't screen your followers. That guy you met briefly at a party, the coworker from 5 years ago, the anonymous account liking your recent posts, any could be studying you. Studies reveal over 78% of burglars use social media to pick targets. They don't need to guess if you're home. You've told them. You've shown them. Beyond theft, the risk grows when you share routines. That 6 a.m. run every morning, the Wednesday night yoga class, the late night walks when the city sleeps. These habits form a predictable pattern. If someone wants to find you, they don't need to ask. They just watch. Let's unpack the psychology. Why do we post our whereabouts in the moment? It's often about validation, a desire to feel connected, to be seen living vibrantly. But that craving can become a vulnerability. Stoic philosophy offers a counterpoint. It emphasizes valuing what you can control and releasing what you can't. Your safety is controllable, but only if you stop broadcasting your movements. The Stoics prized inner strength over external applause, savoring experiences without needing to display them. That's the mindset we need today. Living stoically means understanding that not every moment needs sharing. You delay gratification, protect your peace, and see that your safety, privacy, and power outweigh fleeting likes or emojis. You start asking, what do I gain by posting this now? Who do I trust with this? What's the cost if the wrong eyes see it? That self-reflection is stronger than any lock. It makes you less predictable, less exposed, harder to manipulate. So here's the shift. Post trip photos after you're home. Share that great restaurant after you've left. Discuss routines only with those you deeply trust. Avoid tagging locations live. And most importantly, stop equating caution with fear. It's not. It's awareness, seeing the world as it is, not as you wish it were. We live in an age where even joy can make you a target if shared recklessly. But by guarding your location and movements, you reclaim control. You transform your life from an open book into something sacred, protected. The most dangerous people don't need to break in. They wait for you to unlock the door. When your location is public, that door's already ajar. Privacy is your fortress. Its walls are built, not with fear but with intention. Be silent. Be cautious. Be stoic. If these insights resonate, let me know by commenting yes below. Your thoughts are valuable, and I'd love to hear them. Third, never reveal details about your personal security systems. The saying goes that walls have ears, and today, those ears belong to people who shouldn't know your business. In our hyper-connected world, where sharing is second nature, even harmless-seeming details can weaken your defenses. One of the riskiest things people casually mention, often without a second thought, is their home security or lack thereof. It starts with pride or sense of duty. Someone installs a shiny new system, cameras, motion sensors, smart locks, and they share it. Maybe it's a quick photo by the security keypad, captioned, "Finally upgraded the house." It feels responsible, but in truth, they've just handed out a blueprint of their defenses to anyone watching with bad intentions. That post doesn't deter danger, it invites it. It tells the wrong people exactly what system they'd need to bypass, and suggests the home's contents are valuable enough to warrant such protection. Now consider the opposite. Some downplay their setup entirely. Nothing worth stealing here. They'll joke at a neighborhood chat or dinner party. Never bothered with an alarm. It sounds humble, but it screams vulnerability. Criminals, like water, seek the easiest path. They don't want a challenge. They want an opening. Announcing you lack an alarm, a dog, or even a watchful neighbor is like leaving your door unlocked, not a casual quip. Let me tell you about Greg, a college friend. A few years back, he moved into a new home with his wife and young daughter. A tech enthusiast, he bought a high-end safe for cash and family heirlooms, including his grandfather's vintage watch. He was thrilled and shared details in a home renovation Facebook group, mentioned the brand, the biometric lock, even its spot, hidden in the closet behind my suits like a spy flick. He wasn't boasting, just excited. Weeks later, while they were away, someone broke in. Nothing else was touched, not the TV, not the laptop, just the safe, gone. It doesn't take a genius to see what happened. It took someone patient, watching, listening, acting on information Greg freely shared. Here's the truth most overlook. Not all criminals are rash. Some are calculated, studying routines and details people offer up online or in person. Greg's error wasn't the safe. It was talking about it in a public space with strangers. We do this more than we realize. We give virtual house tours on social media, showing kitchen remodels while noting the bedrooms are tucked away from the street. We joke with coworkers about stashing grandma's jewelry in the nightstand or keeping a gun under the bed. It feels normal, like bonding, but it's handing out a playbook, a way in, a reason to plan. Psychologically, this stems from a need for validation, to feel we're doing things right, that we're secure, because we've taken steps. But true security isn't a performance. It's private. Stoic philosophy hammers this home. Epictetus said, "Stay silent most of the time. Or if you must speak, say only what's needed, and keep it brief." This isn't just about words. It's about restraint, discernment, holding back what doesn't need sharing. To live stoically is to see that external praise, envy, or curiosity doesn't define success. Broadcasting your security measures, weapons, or valuables doesn't make you safer. It exposes you. The Stoics knew strength is quiet. A fortress isn't secure because its defenses are visible. It's secure because they're unknowable. So how do you discuss your home without risking it? You don't, unless it's critical. If you must, stay vague. "I've got things covered" is enough. If someone probes about your valuables, redirect or keep it broad. When sharing renovations or layouts, highlight the result, not the floor plan. Distinguish what feels good to share from what's wise to share. Once someone knows what you own, how you guard it, and where it's kept, you've lost the advantage. You've given it away. In a world where information spreads faster than consequences, that loss can be catastrophic. Your home is your sanctuary, not a stage. Keep your defenses quiet, your possessions sacred. Say less than you're tempted to. Guard your privacy like it's the lock on your door, because it is. Fourth, avoid sharing personal or family vulnerabilities. When we think of personal safety, most imagine locks, alarms, street smarts, or self-defense tools. But there's a subtler, more insidious threat, one that's psychological, not physical. It starts when you reveal too much about your weaknesses. This danger doesn't charge at you with a weapon. It slips in quietly, masked as empathy, curiosity, or connection. By the time you realize what you've exposed, the harm is often already done. This isn't just a hypothetical risk. It's real, unfolding silently every day. I recall Jordan, a soft-spoken man in his mid-50s who'd recently undergone chemotherapy. He shared his journey openly in a local community group, aiming to inspire and find support. People praised his bravery, but among the applause were eyes that saw not courage, but opportunity. Jordan lived alone, often exhausted. One day, someone exploited that knowledge, breaking into his home while he slept, sedated by painkillers. He never saw the intruder. They didn't need to face him. They knew he posed no threat. Here's the harsh reality. When you disclose details about your health, trauma, emotional scars, or fears, You're handing over a blueprint for how to harm you. Not everyone who hears wants to help. The urge to share is human. We crave understanding, connection. Vulnerability can be powerful in safe spaces with trusted people. But we've been conditioned to overshare, to bare our souls in public forums, never meant to hold such truths. Whether it's a Facebook post, a story at a gathering, or a confessional TikTok, those details in the wrong hands don't just inform, they invite exploitation. Think of it this way. Manipulators and predators are opportunists. They study weaknesses, not always with malice, but with calculation. Someone who knows you avoid conflict will nudge your boundaries. If they hear you live alone and struggle with mobility, they see an unguarded path. Learning about your abusive ex, your phobias, or your guilt gives them tools to craft tailored manipulation. This harm isn't random violence. It's personal, precise destruction. Even when protecting loved ones, oversharing can endanger them. Talking about an elderly parent living alone, mentioning your child's after-school routine, or noting a sibling with a disability at home during the day. These aren't just family details. They are maps of exposure. You might unknowingly put those you love at risk. The Stoics took a different approach to sharing. They weren't distant or unfeeling. They were intentional. Chrypus said, "The wise man speaks with care and restraint, confiding only in those fit to hear." That principle, sharing only with those suited to hear, is true power. Stoic philosophy calls for measured disclosure, not out of paranoia, but awareness. They knew some truth belonged within, processed quietly or with trusted counsel, not broadcast to the world. Being stoic doesn't mean isolation or silence. It means recognizing not all truths are for public ears. It's wisdom, not shame, to protect your vulnerabilities. In the wrong hands, they become weapons. If you've faced trauma, live with health struggles, or are healing from loss, choose carefully who you tell and how. Use private channels, seek professional help, or lean on proven allies. In public, stay general. You don't owe strangers your struggles. You don't need to justify your pain to those who haven't earned your trust. Before sharing, ask, is this for connection or to be seen? Sometimes we just want someone to say, "I understand." But that validation isn't worth risking your security. You can heal without broadcasting, connect without exposing, be strong without being visible. Reflect on your life. Have you ever shared something personal and later regretted it? Has anyone turned your openness against you? Share in the comments. Your story could help someone see what's at stake. Ultimately, your safety isn't just about what you can fend off. It's about what you keep private. Your greatest armor might not be your strength, but your silence. Fifth, never share information that could fuel identity theft. When did you last pause to consider what you reveal online? Not just obvious things like passwords or credit card numbers, but the everyday details. A nostalgic post about your childhood pet, a comment mentioning your mom's maiden name while discussing family history, or a story about the street you grew up on. These seem harmless, even endearing. But to someone with malicious intent, they're pieces of a puzzle that map directly to your identity and ultimately your vulnerability. Picture every personal detail you share online as a fragment of a jigsaw. Alone, it's insignificant. But when someone gathers enough of these bits across your posts, tags, comments, and public profiles, they form a vivid portrait, not a story of who you are, but a profile to impersonate, hack, scam, or even ruin you. The worst part, you've likely given these pieces away willingly, not out of carelessness, but because we're taught sharing builds connection, and openness equals authenticity. It doesn't. Not always. Not in this world. Consider Melissa, a lively, tech-savvy teacher who loved posting about me quizzes on Instagram stories. Favorite band? Pearl Jam. First pet's name? Lucky. Hometown? Dayton, Ohio. She shared a nostalgic post about her first car, a silver Toyota Corolla, and a high school graduation photo, clearly tagged with her school's name. Unknowingly, she'd answered nearly every standard security question for her email, banking app, and online accounts. Soon, her inbox flooded with alerts, password reset attempts, suspicious activity, flagged cards. She was locked out of multiple platforms, and it took weeks and a cybersecurity expert to unravel the chaos. The sting wasn't just the hassle, but the betrayal. She'd handed her security to the world, one cheerful post at a time. Modern identity theft isn't the Hollywood cliché of a hooded hacker cracking codes in a dark room. It's often someone quietly collecting your public breadcrumbs over time. They're not forcing their way in. You've left the door open, and they stroll through. The scariest part? These details become far more dangerous when combined. Your birth month from a Facebook comment, your high school mascot from an old yearbook photo, a quip about graduating in 2007, a tagged photo of your sibling with your shared last name. None seem critical alone. Together, they pinpoint your age, birthplace, family ties, and often enough to guess partial social security numbers or craft convincing phishing attacks. Once they know your bank or apps, they don't guess. They mimic those platforms, crafting flawless emails to trick you into clicking what seems like a routine alert. This is where a Stoic mindset becomes essential. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." That clarity applies to the digital realm. Stoicism is about discipline, controlling what you can and releasing what you can't. You can control what you share. You can choose restraint over impulse. Pause before posting and ask, who benefits from this? Who could exploit it? Would I share this if I pictured it in a stranger's hands? Living stoically means treating your personal data like your body, with respect, boundaries, and awareness that exposure has consequences. You don't owe the internet your full story, especially not its ever-watching anonymous eyes. You can live richly without bearing all, connect without exposing your identity's blueprint. The fix isn't paranoia, it's precision. Use fake answers for security questions only you'd know. Avoid posting about your financial apps or shopping platforms. Regularly check your online presence. Delete old posts that don't need to exist. Tighten privacy settings. Make it hard for strangers to construct a version of you without permission. You lock your door instinctively. Your digital life demands the same care. Melissa wasn't hacked because she was reckless, but because she trusted a system that rewards oversharing and punishes discretion. We can break that cycle by choosing silence when it counts, guarding the small truths that seem trivial until they're weaponized. Have you ever shared something online that later felt too exposing? Maybe you answered a cute quiz without seeing its real purpose? Drop your story or thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you've learned about digital safety the hard way. Your experience might wake someone else up. If this hit home, don't stop here. There's more to learn. Click the suggested video on your screen now. It's packed with practical steps, building on what we've covered. In a world where information is power, the smartest move is to protect what you know and keep the rest close. That's not fear. It's survival. It's stoicism in action. If you've reached this point, you're not just watching a video, you're waking up. These 5 secrets aren't mere tips. They're your personal shield in a world that's always watching, listening, and waiting for a misstep. You don't need to live in fear, but you must live wisely. Safeguarding your life begins with guarding your information. So, here's your next step. Hit that subscribe button. Stay close. Stay alert. I'll keep revealing what others miss. If this video opened your eyes, share it. Someone you care about might need this more than you realize. Your safety is your responsibility. But you're not in this alone. Let's keep strengthening your defenses together.